All right, hello. I have some directions here for our review of ArrayList, and I'm doing this in the middle of chapter 8 because I think it's something that's really relevant um, right now in this chapter. It makes sense to do it here, and it's something that it shows up on the AP test. Prior to last year's weird pandemic year, there was one of the free response questions was pretty much always about these array lists. Um, and so last year on the AP test, they made one of the two. The last year was a weird pandemic year, and so there was only two questions, but one of them was about array lists. Okay, so I want to review that right now. And the main thing I want to hit with you is this idea that like when we make our own custom objects. So I'm going to do this as a student example. Um, you can make whatever data you want. So this one you'll be working with today, the student will have a name, a GPA, and then a car, which is actually a separate object, right? A separate class, I guess. And so this would represent an instance of that class. Okay, so in the setup for this one, you have a student, which is like a custom variable type. And inside of there's another custom variable type called a car, right? It just tracks the type of car it is, like a Ford, a Toyota, a Honda, whatever. And then it's MPG. All right, so that's sort of the setup. And before you dive too far into this project, you might want to study those files, right? So you'll find them in the folder for today. You'll have some notes that you're going to be filling in, and then you'll have two classes that are already completed for you, student and car. You might want to study them a little bit because they'll help with these notes. As many of our lessons are, you're going to be like kind of following along with the videos while doing the coding parts. Right, there is, I think, just some general review at the beginning, but then you'll be just doing some coding along with the videos. So you'll need all three of these folders loaded into Eclipse in the same folder, right? So for me, I made a little thing called AP Test Prep, a Java project, and then made a package that was called ArrayList Review, and then I put all three files in there. So you can do it that way. If you want to put it inside of Chapter 8, that's okay. But I would have your own little package and put all three of them in there so that they're able to reference each other. Okay, and again, for the most part, you just be filling in the code in this ArrayList notes for the AP test. You're going to put all your code in there, all right? But you're going to have to reference the code in student and car. So you have to kind of understand them and understand this idea of a custom variable type. Okay, and the big thing again that I really want to hit here is I don't think students realize that when you do an array list, you can put any object here, right? It doesn't just have to be string or something like that. You can do your own custom objects, right? So student, we built our own little data type that tracks these three things, okay? And then we can put a bunch of students in an array list and track like their name and their GPA and do they have a car and all that type of stuff. So that's the idea. Students miss the idea that the objects and classes, you can build your own custom one and put it in ArrayList. So we're going to kind of combine those two ideas of ArrayList and then objects and classes to do them with ArrayList. So that's what this lesson is going to be covering. So sorry, that's kind of a long explanation. The only other thing I really wanted to point out with this is just realize that when I made these videos, I made them last year as review for the AP test, but I'm going to do them now because I think they're relevant. So they'll have some stuff about the AP test there, but it is likely to come up on this year's test too, even though we don't know what it looked like. This concept will likely be on there in some form or another. So just don't get too freaked out if it has some of these weird things about the AP test, like saving this file and stuff. Last year you could use notes on the AP test. I'm not sure if it's going to work this year, but if you are able to, this file will be a good reference for you. So sorry for the long explanation and the confusion, but I think this lesson will really help. So let me know if you have any questions about the setup or anything else. Thanks for watching.